Hello everyone, welcome to the Bitcoin Rebel YouTube channel. I will be your host Stefano, and this is Tim.
Hello.
He is our social media content manager. Today we will explain to you why it's important to use Linux instead of Windows or Apple. Oh, and why, Tim, it's important to use Linux instead of Apple or Windows?
Well, the two most important things would be for your privacy and your security. So naturally, because we use Bitcoin and we believe in the privacy, security, decentralization,
Exactly.
naturally it seems like it is the better option to go with Linux, something that is private, secure, because that's what we're striving for, that's what we believe in.
Understood.
Okay, so shall we dive into it?
Let's go.
Nice, perfect. So first thing we did was buy a cheap, not expensive, nothing too fancy computer from Amazon. The reason it doesn't need to be very expensive because we're only going to be using this to manage our Bitcoin. The next thing we're going to do with this computer is we're going to install Linux because, as we said, it's private, it's secure, much more than Apple, Windows, etc. This computer we got comes with Windows, but we will be installing Fedora Silverblue. The reason we're going to use Silverblue is because compared to the traditional version, it's more beginner friendly and a little bit more difficult to cause permanent damage. First thing we're going to have to do is go to the Fedora Silverblue website. We'll download the software and then we will flash it or transfer it over to a USB. So we'll need a small USB like this one. So first what we need to do is go to the Fedora Silverblue website, and that should look like this. Then we will download the Workstation Edition. So once we are in the download page, we need to download Fedora Workstation for Intel and then click download. From there we'll need to verify the download, and we'll explain that to you in just a couple minutes. So next we'll need to download the Fedora Media Writer, and that's how we will flash or transfer the OS to the hard drive. And here you'll see it's you can download it for Windows, Mac on the first tab, or the second tab for Linux. So coming back to the download page, next to the download icon there will be another button you can press for the instructions on how to verify the download. And then once here, we'll download the checksum file and open the computer terminal. So now we have to copy and paste the instructions, but first we'll access the downloads folder with the command cd space downloads, and then we'll have to paste the command from the instructions. So once we've pasted the command number 3, we'll need to check to make sure we have a good signature from Fedora. So after that, we'll paste the number 4 command, and we should receive an OK on the top line. The rest disregard. If the input is valid, it should be ready to use. If you want to verify the details of the GPG keys, you click here under the Info tab on number 2. Now you can skip the verification step if you choose, but it's not recommended. So once we've downloaded and verified the OS, we'll open Media Writer. So here you want to make sure you choose the correct file and move it to your selected USB. Alright, now we have Fedora Silverblue on this USB ready to install on this computer. First thing we need to do is figure out how to access the BIOS. For every model of computer, They might be slightly different, but to access the BIOS, when you turn the computer on, you will repeatedly tap F12, delete, F11, or the escape key. It's different for every model, so you'll have to do some research and figure out what you need to do on your particular computer. After a little research, we figured out on this particular computer, it should be delete or escape. So now we'll insert the USB before turning it on, and then we will give it a try. Now we've accessed the BIOS, so we will now show you how to install the new OS onto your computer. First, you're going to use the directional keys and go over to Boot, then go down to select Boot Option 1 and hit Enter, and then find your USB drive. Ours is SanDisk, and select that. And then go over to Save and Exit, hit Enter, save configuration and exit, then install Fedora 42. So now select your language you want to use, in our case English. Then we will go to under System, Installation, Destination. Then click on this in Local Standard Disks. So once you select your drive, remember always to select the option for encryption, encrypt my data, and then you'll need to enter your passphrase. When you create your passphrase, it's better to make a phrase rather than just random characters. You want to make it something you'll remember, but make it long enough that it will be difficult to crack. And then save passphrase. Reclaim space, and then delete all. Reclaim space, and then begin installation down here on the bottom right. Okay, so while we take this time to wait for the system and the installation, we can use this time to cover our webcam with this little webcam cover. Peel that back. Now our webcam can be covered easily. So we're going to go here to Reboot System, and as soon as the screen turns black, we will remove our hard drive. Okay, so now we're at the welcome screen. We'll set it up. We'll go with English, select your language. Okay, so select your keyboard language. Next, connect to your Wi-Fi if applicable. And then we can go ahead and disable location services. Select our time zone. So for added privacy, we're going to select a different time zone. So why don't we go with Hong Kong? So we can go ahead and enable third-party repositories. For our username, about us, we're going to use Bitcoin Rebel. And next. So the password is for the computer. It's not the same as our encryption password. So we'll choose something different. So we're all done. Start using Fedora Linux. So that's going to conclude our tutorial on the installation of the Fedora Silverblue Linux OS. So stay tuned for further videos on how to use it, how to update it, etc.